everyone. It has been a long time since I've done a bulk pantry tour, and we moved to a new home, and so things look a little bit different down here, and we've started storing more and more as our budget allows. So I'm going to take you along today and show you what we have here. Before I go into depth here, I just want to say that this area is pretty raw right now. We have other areas of the house that we are working on. This is a new home for us. Not a new home, but new to us home. And there's a lot that needs to be done. We've got some old falling insulation and whatnot here. And this area is just not a priority. We have a lot of outdoor projects that we have going on right now. So if you wouldn't mind giving us some grace, that would be much appreciated. I also want to say that the things that we store down here took a really, really long time to build up. There is a lot of infrastructure here that has literally taken years to slowly acquire as budget allows. During the very beginning of the pandemic, we started slowly buying non-perishables from Costco, and they weren't even necessarily things that we ate. We started wondering about the stability of our supply chain, and so we bought things like shelf-stable soups from Costco that weren't even a part of our diet normally. They were just kind of backup food. And that is where our bulk storage journey began. Slowly, we changed the way we cooked to utilize bulk ingredients so that we could stock our pantry with things that we were genuinely going to use, like bulk flours and bulk oatmeals, things like that. And it really has been a journey. That sounds very cliche, but it takes a while to figure out how to change all your cooking and all your shopping and all your storage so that everything flows together and you're not just storing a bunch of stuff that you're never going to touch or use, and then you're spending double the money because you're buying these groceries and different groceries, or eating out because you don't know how to use these groceries. So it really takes a long time. I just don't want this video to come off fake because there is a lot going on here, and it's taken a really, really long time to build up slowly. So flour started at 5 pound and then 10 pound and then 25 pound. Now we have 4 5-gallon buckets full of flour, and we go through maybe 1 or 2 of those a month. So it starts slow, and I will just show you what we've done here. All right, so we do still shop at Costco a little bit, and this is kind of our processed corner. We do have a lot of little kids, and we're on the go a lot lately, so here is my very human side that I'm sharing with you all. We do have some processed snacks in the house. We try to keep it kind of clean. Like these are pretty good. It's just fruit puree, but I've heard that these are kind of junky in the end. So, oh, and these definitely, these are not a health food. So this is what we've got for that. This could probably use some tweaking, but it's just not a priority right now. This could be described as a problito. It is a little problem that is not big enough to demand my immediate attention. So this is my problito. We do store bulk spices. I have a 3-tiered spice system. So this is step 1. We keep an extra bag, which is usually a pound or so, of all of our spices. If it's something that I know we're going to use a lot of, like chili powder, I buy them in quantities of 3 because they're cheaper on Azure Standard, which is where most of our bulk goods come from. Same with curry powder. I usually have multiple bags of curry powder. Then these get put into a quart jar upstairs. It usually holds the whole pound bag. And then we've got little spice jars that are accessible for everyday cooking. So that way, when I run out upstairs in a quart jar, I have time to stock from down here because Azure only comes once a month, and sometimes things are out of stock, so it can take a month or 2 to replenish. So I needed that buffer built in. It sounds complicated, but again, that's one thing that we just built up very slowly over time. We started with 1-step and then 2-step and then 3-step, and now it works seamlessly. We are sort of overflowing in paper products right now. We've got some over here as well. Let me get my hand out of the way so it focuses. I needed free shipping the other day because I forgot to pick these up at the store, and so I just ordered more than we need right now, but it's fine because it'll just sit here and get used eventually. Okay. Onto the 5-gallon buckets. The lighting over here is not terribly great, so bear with me. We are just in a basement. But here I have my pasta and my beans. We have started storing pinto and kidney beans. We use them for refried beans and chili beans. I can those at home. It's cheaper, and I like getting our things out of a metal can. I prefer them in glass. Here we have some whole wheat pasta that we got from Azure. I probably won't buy whole wheat again. Our family didn't love it, but we're eating it slowly. In this 2-gallon, I have cavatappi noodles. I need to label those. We do have a separate pasta section over here. I have been getting pasta from Azure, I've been getting pasta from Costco. But I think I might try to get away from these bags and start sourcing from Azure. And then the pasta stores really well in those 2-gallon buckets that I was showing a second ago. So we might try to get away from prepackaged pasta, but I have been getting this pasta from Azure, and I really like this. So we will see. We'll see where I end up with that. When I'm shopping, saving money is a big goal, but I'm also always looking for ways to source a healthier product or use less plastic, or, you know, create less waste. So those are redeeming qualities that I look for when I pick my items. When I first started this out, it was purely about saving money. And then as you source all these things in bulk, you start to have more room in your grocery budget. And so I started sourcing things for health. So like this month we have peanut butter coming from Azure, which is more expensive than the organic peanut butter at Costco, but it comes in a glass jar from Azure. So we're getting out of the plastic system there, which is better for us and better for the planet, that sort of thing. So some of the stuff you'll see here is not necessarily cheaper than what I could get it in other places, although often it is, but it usually has another redeeming quality, like less plastic, or it's just a healthier product. Anyway, we have salt over here, then we have our white rice, and I like storing things in a system of 2 here for products like this, because then I can eat 1 bucket down, and then when that hits empty, I order a new bag. We pull the old bucket up top, and then the new bag goes on the bottom. And that way we never run out of things, and we're also not rushed to go to the grocery store. We can afford to give ourselves a little bit of a buffer in case Azure can't fulfill our order right away, that sort of thing. Other things I have 3 buckets for, just because the bag that is most cost effective fits in 2 buckets. So sugar, we've been buying it in a 50-pound bag, and that takes at least 2 buckets. So it's a little clunky, and we have 3 things of sugar because of that. Here we have our flour. We go through a lot of flour because we make a lot of flour products at home, our bread or tortillas. This is one of those areas where you can really save money, but you do have to be disciplined about actually making the products with flour, or else you just have a bunch of flour sitting in your basement and you go to the store and you're spending money on buns and bread and whatnot. So this has helped us save lots of money though. Oatmeal is another one of those huge bag situations. So I have 3 buckets for that, just so I can always have an empty bucket, enough room to put a new bag into. Here we have 2 things of chocolate chips. I didn't used to store 2 5-gallons of chocolate chips. Also, they're not all the way full up, because chocolate chips are so dense that they usually only fill maybe like right here. But chocolate went a little crazy last year, and prices were skyrocketing, and so I decided to just pick up extra. This bucket is almost empty. I'm not sure what prices are doing these days. I don't know if I will refill this right away. This is obviously not an urgent thing, so like if the world shut down tomorrow and we needed to eat out of our pantry, we are not going to suffer without chocolate chips, you know what I mean? But something like flour, I always keep stocked up. Here we have some bulk baking items. We have powdered sugar, cocoa powder, buttermilk powder, and, well, this is a little out of place. This is some pasta that I'm trying to use up. We didn't really enjoy it, and so this will probably become a baking container once this is all gone. We have bittersweet chocolate chips stored in a much smaller quantity than our regular chocolate chips. And then this is a 2nd gallon of bittersweet chocolate chips, just because we do go through this kind of a lot. We like to cook with it, and when I was pregnant, it was one of my favorite snacks with peanut butter. So sometimes I will retire a bucket and we won't be so worried about storing a 2nd bucket for a while. But for a while there, we were storing a 2nd bucket of bittersweet just because we were using it. Most of these 2 gallons don't have a second backup because we do have a quart upstairs. So I treat it a little bit more like the spices. Here we have coffee. My husband takes this to work. Otherwise we get our coffee from Purity Coffee, and that is stored in 2-gallon buckets upstairs under our coffee bar. Up here I like to store cooking oil. So we have our avocado oil, which we use quite often. We have canola oil, which is pretty rare. And we have coconut oil and olive oil. My camera has had a really hard time focusing lately, so if you catch that, I'm really sorry about that. But usually when I take an oil out of here to take it upstairs, I will add this to the grocery list for the next month. And they're so big that I don't really need more than one in storage, because we're not going to go through that whole gallon upstairs before we need more. Here I have molasses. We use molasses to make our own brown sugar, so I use this to fill a smaller container upstairs. Then we just have some plastic products. I also store foil up here, and then over here we've got parchment paper. Pretty self-explanatory. You can kind of see we've got some plastic cutlery here in case we have power outages or we host an event, stuff like that. These are ice cream cones. I bought a 12-pack of these because it was cost effective, and I have not regretted it. We just take one upstairs whenever we want to have an ice cream night, and I think we only have 3 left out of the 12, so it's lasted a really long time. They might be expired. I'm just noticing that right now. But they're fine. We've been eating them, and they're fine. I have tomato products here, Rotel, tomato paste, whole peeled, which we use also as crushed tomatoes and all of that, diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, and corn. This is just regular old sweet corn. Here I have more snacks. We store Scout bars. We buy them in I think they come in a 6-pack, and they're a really good buy, so we always have those in stock. We tried these einkorn crackers. We won't buy them again. We have rice cakes back there. And also this marshmallow cream, just for, we don't use it very often, but it comes in a 3-pack, and it's just nice to have around in case we ever need to cook with that. Here we have panko. We use this when we make sushi, all of that. Oh, and look at this. I thought we were out. These are our favorite dye-free lollipops. I am just gonna set these over here on the stairs because I thought we were out, and I told my kids they couldn't have any the other day because we needed to wait for the Azure truck to come in, and I was wrong. Down here, I already talked a little bit about my pasta corner. I do stock pasta sauce. This is something I hope to start home canning soon. I just have not had enough tomatoes to be able to do it at scale. We store all kinds of specialty ingredients in bulk that we reach for just every once in a while, because we can keep an organic product around, and it's much better than what I can find in a store. So we have these organic artichoke hearts, baby carrots, water chestnuts. This is a line of coconut milk. We have cream of whatever soups back here, mushroom and chicken, which I grab occasionally when I'm making a more processed recipe. But I have no guilt about using these because the ingredients are pretty clean. And then we have sort of a Mexican food section here. We've got enchilada sauce, salsa, chilies, that sort of thing. Oh, and this hominy is nothing special, but I had extra that I picked up at the grocery store. Whenever I want to make white chicken chili, it calls for hominy, and it never fails that I never have any in the house. So I decided to pick some up and stick it on my pantry shelf. I have not found organic hominy anywhere. I wonder if there's something about the way it's processed where it's just not, you can't do it organic. It's probably not good for you. Back here, I have some ramen products that I tried, and then this is just kind of like a power outage sort of stash back here of soups, because we do have power outages every once in a while, especially with snowstorms and all of that. This was our Christmas candy section. We bake with these, and the kids like these as treats, and these are dye-free, so I try to keep these around. And then this is our supplements and whatnot. Don't want to bore you with everything we take, but we do get the beef liver in bulk from Azure. So it comes in 3 of these. And and it's pretty cost effective. And then these Nordic berries are on Amazon. Most of our supplements honestly come from Amazon, subscribe and save, and then we get this relight from Azure Standard. Here we have jellies. I was storing these in the fridge and then I decided they're going to be fine on the shelf. So I've been storing them on the shelf now and it saves a lot of room. This is kind of our hodgepodge corner of things. This could clearly do with some organization. These crackers need to go up. I do try to keep a lot of dried fruits around just because we only shop technically twice a month. Costco comes in and then a couple weeks later Azure comes in. So if we're out of fresh fruit, we either eat frozen or dried, and that works just fine. My dad canned these for me. They're blackberry jam. So they are here. They don't really fit. One downside about this shelf is sometimes things kind of sit wonky, but I'm very grateful to have it. And then this is just our peppermint oil plugins that we like. Down here we just have more dried goods. We have some dried beans that we don't use quite as frequently, or some beans that haven't been scaled up yet. So I think I mentioned that we just started storing our pinto beans in the bigger buckets, but I still have to finish out this gallon jar. Red lentils, we go through these really slowly, but we do eat them sometimes and I really like them, but the rest of my family doesn't, so that's why we go through it very slow. White beans, I will probably always only store in a gallon. The 5-pound bag, I think it is, fits fine in the gallon, and we don't eat it enough for me to store more than that. Same with chickpeas. So this is really customizable depending on your family. Back here I have these split peas. I don't know what I thought I was doing with those. We're like never going to use them. So that's a good example of it takes a while to learn what you're going to use. And yeah, it's kind of trial and error. We do buy our cornmeal in bulk. That has always been great. And then I have another smaller container upstairs. We get our elderberry in bulk. Although this back here, my dad started growing elderberry. So these are fresher. They're just dehydrated. They're not the harder freeze-dried ones from Azure. So that has been really fun and saves a lot of money. So that's pretty much what we have going down here. There's some nuts here and different flours and things like that. I still get our maple syrup from Costco. It is just a really good buy, but maybe someday I will get something else. I'm not sure. Here we have the peanut butter. This is what we were getting from Costco and we liked it. There we go. Now it's focusing. We really like this peanut butter from Costco, but again, it comes in a plastic jar and it would just be great to get away from all that plastic. Here I keep jars of different powder things that we use upstairs. This guy needs a jar still, but so for instance, we ran out of the baking powder down here, but we are still fully stocked upstairs. So this is on the Azure order for next month and this will be replenished. Wheat gluten, we use this for making our own bread flour. We have beef gelatin. This is really great for making jello and marshmallows. I do store vanilla extract in bulk, although I accidentally bought this tiny one. Usually I think it's double this, a 32 fluid ounce bottle, and I messed up on the last order. We keep condiments back here, which have kind of been pushed to the side because we have all of this winter type fruit stored right now, but this will start to pare down as summer comes and we'll have more space here again. But I normally home can all of our applesauce and I just didn't have time for that this year. Same for, honestly, all of this is usually home canned. These are canned peaches, canned pears, but this year I just bought it because I was very, very pregnant when all of this fruit was coming in and we were moving. So it was just not our thing this year. Down here I keep juices and vinegars. These juices are usually for Jello. I really like this brand from Azure. They have lots of things to choose from. It's great if you have a sick kid or a kid that had surgery. I also store our lemon juice in bulk and I have some lime juice coming in the next order. This is apple cider vinegar. I think it was a better buy in the four pack of gallons, so this is what's left of that. And then we have just regular old vinegar. This vinegar is pretty expensive, so I will only use it in cooking, cheese making, that sort of thing. For cleaning, I still buy junky old vinegar from Costco. And then we just have random household supplies. I'm sure this varies depending on the household, but we have cat litter and trash bags and air filters, that sort of thing. Up here is where I usually keep chips and whatnot. I get these when they're on sale. I will just stock up and then not buy them again for months. They last plenty long anyway. We like these chips from Costco for all kinds of different things. We do a tortilla bake, or if we're just having guacamole, that kind of thing. I have a baby who is exclusively breastfed right now, but I do have this formula in stock just in case something were to happen. We have these almond crackers. I like these because they are a little bit healthier than just some bland crackers. They're a little bit healthier than some plain crackers, and my kids like them, so I keep those around. Over here we have home canned, I should say, items. This shelf, I'm hoping to have more shelves put in. This is from IKEA, and it is one of the best shelves that I have found, because I was searching for a system that I could store these canned goods on efficiently, because if you store them on a shelf like this, you know, you're not supposed to stack them, and so then you run out of space. So this shelf definitely was a huge win, but when we got it from IKEA, all the parts went out of stock. So we came home, we put it together, we said, yay, this is great. We went back to get some more shelves and we can't get them. So that was kind of a bummer. And I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I need to check and see if they're back in stock or not, but it was for months we could not find these shelves. So anyway, I can chickpeas, baked beans. That is fire cider that I made way too strong. I thought I was gonna die, so I'm gonna have to try that again. I have some extra pumpkins back here that I need to process. The pumpkins up here are Long Island cheese pumpkins that we get from a local farm, and then we make pumpkin muffins, pumpkin pie, all that kind of stuff all year long with that. This is a home canned strawberry lemonade mix from the Ball Canning Book, and I like it. But I've been trying to reconstitute it in a way that I absolutely love, and I think it needs a carbonated base. So I haven't tried it yet though, but if that is good, I think that will be the ticket, and we will can that again next year. Here we have home canned salsas and our last thing of Rotel. And then this is just honey. Whenever we buy our honey in bulk, I part it out into smaller pint jars because it's so much easier to work with. Here I have refried beans, black beans, white beans, and then normally I can our kidney beans, but we were running really low right at the time that I was due to give birth, and I just did not have it in me to can kidney beans, and it was chili season, so I decided to just buy some, and I will go right back to canning them as soon as I can. This is our beef freezer. I will do a better haul once we get our beef from this year, but we are almost out of beef. As you can see, most of these shelves have become other things, but normally this is full up of beef, and we are due to get a half beef here soon. One thing I did try to store in here was these half and halves. I'm not in love with that method, so we're gonna have to come up with something else for storing half and half. I wonder if you can freeze dry it. We do have a freeze dryer coming. That might be a fun experiment. Over here, I keep our rendered lard. I don't seem to have the patience to render lard all the way down to where it is safe to be shelf stable, to where it has no moisture left. So I just do my best, and then at the end of the day, when I really need to be done with the project, I just can what I have. And I don't care about the water content because I'm just gonna freeze it. So that's where we keep our lard. We use it to make a lot of bread products, and it cooks up so much nicer than butter and other things like that. So yeah, and then over here I just have our sausages. We like this andouille. We get this from Azure. Our hot dogs, also from Azure. It's all from Azure. Our breakfast links, and then we usually get a Polish sausage from Azure as well, but we are out, and that is coming this month. This is often our pork freezer, but it has also become our berry freezer. Next time I get this quantity of berries, I'm gonna pack these in plastic gallon bags, I think, and part them out right when I get them. Because this has been a little bit of a mess, and I haven't loved it. These are blueberries. They're a little bit easier to manage than the raspberries, but same thing. As you can see, most of our pork is gone. We just have a couple roasts left and some odds and ends bits. Like I think those are pig feet and I have no idea what to do with those. But otherwise we just have a lot of ground pork, and that has taken quite a while to get through. And then lastly we have this freezer. I usually put fish and cheese and miscellaneous vegetables in this freezer. We get pepper jack and spinach. I store my yeast in here, our Parmesan. This is my butter shelf and other vegetables. Anyway, thank you so much for joining for this haul. I'm sure everybody's storage should look different because everybody stores different things for their families and what they like and their needs, but this is what we do. So hopefully this is informative if you are looking for inspiration for your bulk storage. Anyway, I will see you all in the next video. We will hopefully be putting out a video about making our own bacon and ham from fresh products from a local farm. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.